Welcome to the Scar Thumb Podcast. It's me, David, me hosting today. We got a lot of stuff to cover. First off, we have Xbox. Is Xbox done? Is this the end of the Xbox era? We're talking about Power World, a little more, Stellar Blade again. Pokemon. We're going to get into some Pokemon. Can Pokemon save itself? And some more other things. Celebrations of careers and maybe some other stuff. I have so much stuff I'm forgetting how much we're going to cover. Oh, yellow paint. That's the other thing. Ooh, yellow paint. Who would have known? Who would have thought yellow paint would get people so mad? But that's all. You'll have to stick around to find out what that's all about on the Scar Thumb Podcast. But let's get into it. So like I said, I have so much to discuss. It's crazy. I hope I can fit in an hour. But we might not. We might not. We'll get through it, though. First off, we're starting with Xbox. More rumors, more leaks, more discussion around it. Rumblings underneath that could lead to something bigger. This is from Andrew Marmo on Twitter. Rumor/leak. Walmart to start removing physical Xbox games in stores, starting with Starfield. Copies are either going to 3 cents or be destroyed. And here is a screenshot. Here looks to be of a phone. Screenshot here. Department 5. This is from Walmart. Remove and discard Starfield Xbox video games. On Monday, January 22nd, the Xbox Series X Starfield video game we marked down to 3 cents to prepare for the disposal at store level. Thank you for helping process this item off our shelves. All right. Wow. Say leak. I don't know if this actually ever happened. Accept the markdown at 3 cents in the Walmart app. Price availability changes. Use Xbox on-hand lookup tool to see how many units in the store. Locate and remove inventory from the sales floor and back room. So, Walmart getting rid of Xbox Starfield video game. Very weird. But we have been hearing talks about places getting out of physical games. Well, from my own experience looking in the game sections of different Walmarts, there is a lot of reduction in the physical areas of physical game cases. A lot of them moving to just having a sort of stand with these cards. Of course, the digital download cards. A lot easier to stack. You don't need to lock it up in a cage, so you don't need an associate to go grab it out and get it. So it's much easier. A lot less theft, since I guess you need to activate it before you can actually use the code. So it's not like people can just stick these cards in and they'll have a code. So that there's a lot of, from a retail level, there's a lot of positives to getting rid of physical games in the store. Of course, the negative may be that eventually these places just cut out the retail. But at the same time, there's still so many people that aren't using physical media. Like, is grandma really going to go down there and, go online or something and buy you a code for a game? Probably not. They're going to go through a retail store and pick up a gift card for them or something else, a gift card or one of those digital download codes. They're not going to, go on a website, the official Xbox, Microsoft, or Nintendo website and buy a game. Though I have done that for my nephews. But let's move on. This, of course, Phil Spencer decides to make a cryptic message. He is the head of Xbox right now. We're listening and we hear you. We've been planning a business update event for next week. We're looking forward to sharing more details with you about our vision for the future of Xbox. Stay tuned. Very cryptic. The head of Xbox here, Phil Spencer. Let's go over here. PC Focus. It appears that Xbox is moving away from the Xbox Game Pass name. It will now be called Microsoft Game Pass. a potential sign that Game Pass is coming to more platforms in the near future. So no longer Xbox Game Pass. Come play new Xbox games on the Xbox Series X. Explore the benefits of Game Pass. And this is from GameStop. It's free to join all local times. Xbox Demo Day. Come play Xbox Series X, and then right here at the bottom it has the benefits of Microsoft Game Pass. So this could be a pivot from this sort of Xbox Game Pass to Microsoft Game Pass, maybe trying to push it on more platforms. The PC. I think they realize that the PC is a big thing, and potentially, I don't know, maybe even move the Game Pass, make it available on potentially other consoles. That'd be crazy. I don't think PlayStation or Switch would allow that, but maybe they just want to sort of untie it from Xbox specifically, and have it both PC and Xbox. Now that would be my guess. We'll see. And then here's an article from VGC News by Andy Robinson. Phil Spencer has reportedly reassured employees Microsoft won't stop making Xbox consoles. An internal town meeting. According to journalist Shannon Liao, Microsoft's head of gaming, Phil Spencer, told employees that Xbox currently has no plans to stop making consoles, and that Xbox consoles will continue to be part of this strategy, which involves multiple kinds of devices, in quotation marks here. That's very important. Publicly, Microsoft remains silent on recent reports that it could bring games including its key exclusive Starfield to PlayStation 5, and then announcing that it will hold a business update sometime next week. We're listening. We hear you, Spencer wrote on X earlier this week. We're planning a business update event for next week, and we look forward to sharing more details with it about the vision of the future of Xbox. So it's claimed multiple major Xbox exclusives, including Starfield, Hi-Fi Rush, and Indiana Jones could be released on the PS5 as part of a significant strategy shift from Microsoft's gaming division. So, although not officially confirmed, led to major backlash from the Xbox community. The Xbox faithful are not happy about seeing these exclusives go to PlayStation 5. There's still that fandom there that's still like, hey, we want to win the console war. Personally, I think, it's time to move on. I think the era of the console wars is dead. I think we're moving on to the PC master race era, where a lot of these companies, even PlayStation, by the way, with, Switch being the only really holdout on exclusives, because Nintendo obviously owns, when it comes to their IP is clearly the strongest in terms of exclusives. All of Xbox stuff is like, an Xbox and PlayStation. I don't know if they're like, if they really have a lot of internal divisions that, it's like, like Naughty Dog. They acquire studios, like whether it's Naughty Dog or Bungie or, these sort of things that make, things like Halo, or used to make stuff like Halo for Xbox. I don't even know what Xbox has. Let's show Bethesda, let's say, and now they have Activision Blizzard. But even at this point, they're still not they're looking like we're Call of Duty. Like, we're not going to put Call of Duty exclusively on Xbox. We'd be losing so much money potentially from getting it for PlayStation. The PlayStation users. So why cut that user base down so much, especially when you have the cost of games? And I think that might be one of the reasons a lot of these exclusives are dying, or the era of the exclusive is dying, is because there's so much money involved in making these games that it's just not worth it. You just need to get all the money you can, which means getting out to the biggest audience possible. They no longer can, like, Xbox or Sony eat some of that cost just to move consoles anymore. It's just the things are outrageous. But this isn't it for Xbox's problems, by the way. There's a lot of kind of fallout coming with the Activision merger, which we'll go over. And this was from the XNC podcast, Mr. Colton Eastwood here. Let me bring it down so you can see that. Give them credit where credit is due. And this is a guy named MAG. I think that stands for middle-aged Gamer Guy or something like that, I believe. Mag. Well, let's see what he has to say.
I've heard, like I said, take this all with whatever grain of salt, size grain of salt you want to take it with. I've heard that there's been a bone of contention, not from the management of these acquired publishers and studios and so on and so forth. It's more of the people involved, where they're looking at the way that their salaries work, the way their bonuses work. I'm not going to get into all that because I'm not there. I bet, Phil's probably screaming right now, going, "That's not." But hey, listen, this is just what I've heard from other people who are there. And they said that he would get paid based on performance bonuses of sales and that kind of thing or whatever, and revenue and all this. And all of a sudden you go to a company that's no longer reporting sales. And then, of course, they've got a subscription service that's not actually based on a sales metric, right? And it's a whole different thing. Now they're coming in saying, well, what happened to my bonus? I get like 10 grand at the end of the year that I can go to, the Bahamas with my family or something. I don't know.
Or
and
Oregon.
I'm not saying that they're, yeah, exactly. Oregon, of course. That's where everybody's going. That's where everybody's going. But the thing is, now they're looking at it like, well, how's this going to work now, and what's happening? And then all of a sudden, what happens? Then the Blizzard thing happens, right?
So that's a really interesting point with Xbox going over to, or pushing, Xbox Game Pass. You have these old contracts or salary based things that they get bonuses based off game sales. Well, now all of a sudden, they don't report sales, and half the stuff might be off Game Pass. New game comes out, well, it's Game Pass, so not as many people are actually buying the game. There's playing the Game Pass, so now those people that had that benefit before, maybe, like I said, getting like a few grand, go on a vacation. Well, now all of a sudden that's gone. This is a interesting new thing from IGN. Related to Xbox, new data suggests that PS5 has outsold Xbox Series X/S 2-1. Looks like Sony's PlayStation 5 has sold around double the number of units as Xbox Series X, according to data shared in a recent Take-Two Interactive's earnings report. One side of the company shared that 77 million Gen 9 consoles have been sold as of December 31st, 2023. While the figure doesn't give us too much insight on its own, Sony announced that it had sold a little more than 50 million PS5s. Microsoft usually keeps this number of the wraps, but Take-Two's information in mind, you can estimate the Xbox Series X sits around 27 million units sold. So, you're kind of like using reverse math here. So, an approximation, state of Gen 9 keeps in line with previous sales updates. In July of last year, Sony revealed that the latest PlayStation console was still going strong with 40 million units sold at Games event in Brazil around the same time. Xbox Series sales were said to be just over 21 million. So Xbox not doing great on its sales, which could be yet another reason why it's kind of pivoting, wanting to focus on PC, potentially bringing some of its exclusives to other platforms to help, get sales up. And of course, they go on to mention it. Today, next interesting content, rumors, Xbox future, talking about Indiana Jones, Starfield, Sea of Thieves, Firefly Rush. Will soon come to console competitors like PlayStation's, shocked by the news. We've already gone over this, but that is, this is, like I said, another reason the number is, and these are approximations, but if they're even kind of around close to right, there's going to be an issue. There's definitely an issue here. And I think Xbox sees that their path forward might be focusing more onto PC, less reliant on their console. Basically, I think, to me, it seems like this is let me give you my opinion on the whole thing, which for what it's worth, whatever it's worth, that they're going to still keep their console. It's going to be like, hey, you want a console? If you're a console gamer, we're going to give you something to play play games on. I don't think they want to totally get out of that market because there's money to be made, especially with their Game Pass, their subscription service. It's an easy win, all right, hey, you want to play online with Xbox? Hey, get the Game Pass, or, like they could bundle that in with their Xbox Online, offer, those games, like a premium pass or whatever. but they also realize that PC is a huge market. It allows them, and if they can kind of, especially with, I think, the indie scene being so strong, success like Power World, some other smaller games, making a lot of money, moving units, Lethal Company, moving a ton of units, huge, good bet, a really big game. If they could kind of make themselves like, hey, if you're already making a game for Windows, I assume it's fairly easy to bring it over to Xbox. If not, then they should really work on removing those barriers. Because if they can make themselves like, hey, if you're making it for Steam and it'll be released on Steam, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to put it on Xbox, then I think they could actually move some units. They'd be in a lot better position than they are now. So right now, you have things like Steam Deck, sort of like for like mobile gaming, but in terms of like console gaming at home, on a TV, I don't know if I think Steam tried to release their own like console type of thing. I don't know if it really did all that well, like especially compared to the Steam Deck. So if they can make themselves like, hey, this is the console that's going to get you all the cool games, cross play. If they could somehow make that easy, between like Steam and Xbox, then man, I think they could really, I know they're working on it with Power World. I think that could be a home run for them.